Hey guys, it's that time when I get to bring you the latest and greatest facts of what's going on in the Hampton Roads real estate market. We take a look at what's going on nationally and how it affects us right here on the ground in Hampton Roads. So I've got some facts and figures right here with me, and I'm going to go over some of these things. If you have seen the news at all, you know we've been in a little bit of a trade war with Europe and Asia. And what we see is how that affects our current economy. What's good news for the economy often is bad news for the mortgage market. So we want to make sure that we understand when the Fed drops the rates, what does it mean to us here in Hampton Roads and for those of us that are buying or selling homes. So I'm going to run a couple of things by you. Remember that the Fed funds rate is short-term overnight rates, and our home loan rates do not respond to the trading activity there, but in the mortgage bond rates. So that's going to mean we're going to watch things like the 10-year Treasury to see where our home mortgage rates go. The other good news is after this most recent Fed cut of 0.25%, even though there was a few that wanted to see a little bit more, it's kind of leveled things out. And what we heard from Fed Chairman Powell was that there is no recession in sight. So despite what you might see from, say, MSNBC or even the Wall Street Journal, there is no recession in sight right now. And here's something key that I want to make sure that you understand. The recession that we had in 2008 was driven by the real estate market. But of all of the recessions over the last 75 years, that is the only one that was driven by the real estate market. So real estate continues to remain strong. So keep that in mind. Consumer is alive and well and spending is good. The Fed came and went. Home loan rates actually ticked up a little bit, but they still remain at some 3-year lows. Here's a little tip for you. If you bought your house in the last year or two and haven't considered refinancing, now is the time to reach out to your loan officer or even give me a call and let me put you in touch with someone that can make sure that you've got the best rate possible. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment when it comes to perhaps it's time to buy up or sell what you've got now. But after the Fed came and went, home loan rates actually ticked up, but that's good news. It's good news for the economy. It's not great news for the home loan rates, but again, we are still at 3-year lows, so keep that in mind. Back to refinancing. If you haven't thought about refinancing your mortgage in the last year or two since you bought, now's the time. I was speaking with one of my clients here the other day, and they're thinking about, hey, we need more room, our family's growing, we may want to get in a different school district. So we talked about the payment they had. They had not refinanced their home in the last 4 years, and they were paying in excess of 5%. So immediately we got them on the phone with a mortgage officer. They're going to refinance, they're going to lower that payment, and because we talked about the idea of holding on to your real estate and growing your nest egg through real estate, he gets to hold on to that property with a lower payment, put a tenant in there, and buy a new house, and everything's cut and cleared. So he's able to buy that new house without having to sell the first one. So keep that in mind if that's something that you wanted to consider. So here's where we talk about what's going on in Hampton Roads, all right? This is how it affects you and me and what's going on here. What we're seeing, and I'm going to tell you across the board that we are seeing houses that sell in the 200 single-family homes, detached homes that sell in the 200 to 250,000 rate, rule the roost. All time, that's the meat of the market. That's where the median sales price is. Keep that in mind. And what we're also seeing is that 5 of the last 8 months that we saw, that we have numbers for through 2019, have been the strongest months that we've had, strongest year that we've had since 2011. So the numbers continue to tick up in the right direction. So here, I want to talk a little bit about the Hampton Roads overall market. We're going to talk about absorption rates, which we've talked about before. Simply, that means how many houses on the market, how many buyers in the market, and how long is it going to take to sell those homes. So overall, in Hampton Roads, what we're seeing is we saw 2,865 houses sell last month. They had a median time on the market of 28 days. And 51% of the homes in Hampton Roads, South Hampton Roads, sold in less than 30 days from the time they were listed. Our Active number of properties on the market is just under 8,700, and that's down almost 12.5%, almost 13% over this time last year. So the number of homes that has sold is up, and the number of active listings available is down. If you're tracking what I'm saying, we're seeing a really upward pressure on sales prices, which is good for those of you that are selling, but you need somebody to advise you when it comes to buying as well. Currently, there's about 2,800 homes that are under contract. So 2,800 homes sold last month, and 28 homes are under contract for this month. So that's where we are in Hampton Roads. The overall absorption rate, if you are under $500,000 in the value of your home, and for those of you thinking about pricing your property to sell immediately, that's a key number to watch here. We are really in a seller's market. A few of those homes are selling in 5 to 8 months, those rates are 5 to 8 months, but the majority of them are under 5 months, which is a seller's market with high to moderate appreciation. Next, I want to tell you a little bit about the Chesapeake market. What we're seeing in Chesapeake specifically is we are seeing an upward tick in the number of homes that sold last month over last year. We have an average sales price of $303,259. How's that for exact? That's an average dollar per square foot of $142. It's kind of simple. How big is your house times the average square footage? We are looking at 60% of the homes in Chesapeake sold within 30 days of their list price. So if you're a buyer, you got to keep that in mind. If you want to sleep on it tonight, you probably won't sleep on it as your next home. 1,172 total active residential listings means it's down 14.6% from this time last year. So the number of houses that sold is up, and again, the number of active listings is down. There's currently 528 houses under contract for this month, and that absorption rate is equally strong, if not stronger, in the Chesapeake market. So if you're under, I'm looking right here, if you're under $600,000, that is an absorption rate of under 4 months, which is very aggressive, high to moderate appreciation in the Chesapeake market. In the Norfolk market, let's talk about Norfolk. Norfolk's seen some wonderful gains. Great place to be. It's surprising. 296 homes sold last month. Remember, Norfolk is a much smaller city. 237, we'll call it $238,000 for your average sales price. It's $134 a square foot, which again, on these older homes in Norfolk, this is a great upward tick. 31 days is the median number of days on the market, and 50% of the homes coming on the market are selling within 30 days of when they were listed. The number of houses available, down 12.8%, and the number of homes that are currently under contracts, 282. So we're seeing very steady sales in Norfolk, which is nice to see. In Norfolk, if you are under 500,000, boom, you are in a very low absorption rate, and same thing in an equal number in the $700,000 to $800,000 mark. Again, under $1 million, under $900,000 in Norfolk, very low absorption rate. Nice to see the city making that turnaround. Virginia Beach, bigger market, a lot more going on. Absorption rates, very low. High to moderate appreciation, all the way up into the $800,000 mark. 779 homes sold last month. Average sales price, $332,000, $164 a square foot. Keep in mind, that is influenced, of course, by waterfront property, oceanfront property as well. 21 days, median days on the market. We're getting into 3 weeks, guys. 60% of the homes are selling within 30 days of their list date. And our active listings this time this year is down, just like Chesapeake, 14.6% below where it was last year. 633 homes under contract this month. Bottom line, lots to know about the economy, about how it affects interest rates, and how it affects your ability to sell and buy your real estate. I want to have an opportunity to talk with you. I'd love to give you some more information on this. Take a look at the graphics that we put up here. It'll give you a little bit more information. Thanks. Have a great day. Have a great month. Remember to call me, and remember, watch out for cyclists out there. I might be one of them.